From Fort Smith, from Pine Bluff, from all four corners of the natural state.
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Ty Richardson.
It's not the result you wanted. The Arkansas Razorbacks come up just short in game number 2 of the Fayetteville Super Regional. 6-5 the final as the North Carolina State Wolfpack escape with the win in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We're live at Walk-On's Fort Smith, and we are not necessarily in the best of moods because a lot of you, like myself, thought this game was going to be concluded and this series was going to be concluded with a result that you wanted. The Arkansas Razorbacks coming out the victors, but it wasn't the case. Give North Carolina State Coach Event and their whole staff credit for what they were able to compile and put together today. Now, I know we've already had a bunch of social media. I've already gotten a couple texts after the game concluded about some decisions that Dave Van Horn made, and we're going to get into all that coming up here on Hog Reaction. Your calls, your text, all throughout the show. Also Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is where we're going to be live. We're on ESPN 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas as you're driving back from Baum Walker Stadium. We're on ESPN 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, ESPN 104.3 Harrison Mountain Home, and then ESPN 96.3 Hot Springs Central, Arkansas. Also hitthatline.com as well. We really appreciate Harry Robinson Buick GMC, Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley for helping us out with our post-game coverage here on Hog Reaction. Now, Mason, like myself, you and I were both sitting here at Walk-Ons taking notes throughout the game. So you got your list in front of you. Mace, what stands out of the things that you jotted down this afternoon that really hurt the Razorbacks from taking home the W today?
Well, you kind of mentioned it. I don't want to sit here and question Dave Van Horn because realistically, Arkansas's 50-11 this year, or I guess 50-12 now, and there's a reason they've been the number 1 team in the nation, but it kind of surprised us, and it surprised me that they pulled Lockhart early. There was a short leash with Lyle Lockhart. He only goes 2 1/3, and he only gave up 2 hits, but of course he had, I believe, 2 runners on base when he got pulled. But what really surprised me was when he pulled Monk out of the game, and you and I kind of looked at each other when we saw Nolan come out, and we were like, well, why do you take Monk out? Because he was kind of dealing at that point.
Yeah.
And then Connor Nolan comes in and gives up a run. He eventually gets out of it. But I don't know. It was a little awkward of a game when it came to Arkansas pitching.
And it wasn't what you expected or what you wanted. Maybe it's more of what you expected because day 2 and day 3 has been a lot more inconsistent outside of the times when Kevin Kopps has appeared than game number 1. You got everything you wanted from Patrick Wicklander in game number 1, and you were hoping that Lyle Lockhart or Caden Monk or Connor Nolan or the guys that you saw tonight. And I thought Caden Monk, like yourself, Mace, did a pretty good job of coming in. Costu at first limited the 2 guys on to just 1 run, but then we saw him give up 3 runs, 2 home runs, or it's actually 3 home runs in that stretch, if I remember that correctly. So just not a good outing for Costu tonight, and I was a little kind of perplexed. Again, I'm not going to try and pretend to have more knowledge than Dave Van Horn when it comes to pitching, but I was kind of surprised that they did take out Caden Monk. They put in Connor Nolan, and they did that. And then there are some others that have already texted me, our Morning Rush listeners, our Hog Reaction listeners, questioning why you didn't just put Kevin Kopps immediately in the baseball game once you pulled out Lyle Lockhart. And I think that is a question you're welcome to ask, as are all questions here on Hog Reaction. But what I will say is you're not going to be able to do that in Omaha. And so you have to get some guys some reps and some guys some confidence heading in if you're able to win tomorrow afternoon to the Emerald City. They can't stroll into Omaha, Nebraska when teams like Mississippi State, Stanford, Vanderbilt, and others can carve it up at times and just step in with a weekend pitching rotation from the sense of, hey, we're just too reliant on Kevin Kopps and Patrick Wicklander to kind of save us to a certain extent. They have to have it. They have to spread around the wealth, and that's something this ball club has done all season long, and they haven't necessarily, the egos haven't kind of infected that locker room to a sense. That's what Matt Hobbs has talked about before, because there's a lot of talent in that pitching room, and I know it doesn't always necessarily showcase itself, kind of like tonight, but a lot of highly recruited kids in that pitching room, and that's kind of what they're having to deal with. 877-377-6963 is the number that you can call in here on Hog Reaction. We'll start with Ryan in Hot Springs. Ryan, your thoughts on the 6-5 loss to the North Carolina State Wolfpack?
The only thing I'm really mad about is I got to listen to them stooges on the ESPN again tomorrow. That's the thing I'm most disheartened about. I give North Carolina State their due. I kind of halfway expected that, but man, I didn't want to have to listen to them guys tomorrow. And I'll leave you with that. Go Hogs, and let's get the W tomorrow.
What stooges are you referring to? Are you just talking about
I'm talking about the announcers. It seems like in elimination games, they're always against Arkansas every single time.
I think that's just your mind telling you that, Ryan. I'm going to be honest, man.
They seem to favor Nebraska pretty good last when we played them before Welch hit that homer. So, but anyway, y'all have a good day. Go Hogs.
I appreciate it, Ryan. Yeah, we're going to be joined shortly by the voice of Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, coming up in just a little bit. Let him get situated, kind of get his thoughts on the game, because I know he has a bunch of them. And you lost the game by 1 run. This wasn't a monumental defeat like North Carolina State faced yesterday. You almost came back and won, and yet 3 of your best hitters, Cullen Smith, Robert Moore, and Charlie Welch, now that's not the order they went in, but those 3 guys had an opportunity in the top of the 9th inning and weren't able to really do anything with it, unfortunately. We saw Charlie pop up the first pitch. We saw Robert, I think he had hit a dribbler, popped his up, and then Cullen Smith struck out. So that was kind of disappointing how the game concluded, because you kind of thought, this team could probably give some life, but it's not how it played out tonight. And I don't get a sense, maybe I'm wrong, and Phil brought this up earlier as we kind of welcome him into the program. Phil, if you go back to 2018 against South Carolina, 2019 against Ole Miss, this is basically almost the exact same formula that played out with what we saw. Arkansas dominates a game 1. They lose game 2. We'll see if they can close it out in game number 3.
Yeah, that's absolutely true, Ty, and it follows the 2015 Super Regional too. Maybe even more so, because you remember that Arkansas opens up that Super against Missouri State, winning 18-4, and then got shut down 3-1 the next game. Won the third game 3-2. First game of a Super Regional never tells you the direction it's going. At least not with Arkansas. It did in the case of Stanford, because they just pummeled Texas Tech 8-0 to go to the College World Series, and they'll await the winner of this one. But you're right. Yeah, this is it's following the Ole Miss. Maybe not necessarily as much the Ole Miss, but maybe more the South Carolina one. But each one of these, it's been Arkansas wins the first game by a fairly wide margin, loses the second game, and then, as always, at least in the last 3, have come back and not just won the third game, but in the case of the last 2 Supers against Carolina and Ole Miss, they beat the stuffing out of those 2 teams. One a razor-thin one against Missouri State. But it's all going to depend on, we say it depends upon the pitching tomorrow. This Arkansas team needs to get out there and swing the bats. I think scoring runs early, and not just 2, but, sustaining some pressure on whomever it is that NC State will start tomorrow. You want to make it really difficult for those pitchers to get out of an inning without a run scored. Even if you don't score runs, if you can get a couple of guys on base, work some counts, get him deep like a 25 or 30 pitch inning, which is what you saw game 1 against that pitcher Johnston, and we didn't really see that today. Sam Highfield got some quick outs early in the count and really got things going downhill.
Phil, he was electric, and he was really not the sole reason, but the main reason they were able to defeat Arkansas in game number 2 today, because 16 straight, like you brought up in the post game. And since we're on the subject of pitching, and Phil, I was setting up when you were probably addressing this, or you maybe thought about this, you and Bubba discussing. I know some people were calling for Kevin Kopps to be immediately thrown in when Dave did elect to pull out Lyle Lockhart. Your thoughts on him going initially with Costello, and would that have been we can always second guess things, but should he have gone with Kevin Kopps just right out of the bat when he pulled Lockhart?
No, I don't think so, because throughout the season, this is exactly what he's done. Now, there might have been a bit of an early hook of Lyle Lockhart. I don't question the pitcher that he brought in. This is exactly the way that Dave and Matt Hobbs have used Kostu throughout the entire season.
Mm-hmm.
He inherits runners with with more than no outs in an inning, tries to get out of that inning, usually does, and then goes to pitch the next inning, and then they go to the next reliever. So that's the script they've been following with Ryan Kostu all year. And the only reason he didn't pitch in the Monday game against Nebraska in the same way is because he had pitched the day before. He doesn't pitch back-to-back games. If he has, it might have happened once this year. That's the only reason that they didn't go to Kostu in the third inning on Monday against Nebraska and instead use Kopps. So I don't think that was the moment they wanted to go to Kevin Kopps. And look, I mean, you can say, look, he gives up the 3 home runs in the fourth inning. That's when they were trailing at that moment. That's not when they were going to go to Kevin Kopps. I think at that point they're hoping to get the bats going again. And you got Caden Monk that worked very well after Kostu did. So yeah. I don't think the third inning was the proper moment for Kevin Kopps. I think if they were going to make a change, they brought in the guy that they've used all year long, and it's worked all year long. So by the way, just because the decision doesn't work out doesn't mean it was the wrong decision.
Yeah, that's a good point. We're talking with the voice of Razorback Baseball, Phil Elson, here on A Hog Reaction. Phil, one question before we let you go, because I know you got stuff to do, but
what do you mean stuff to do? I've got nothing to do. The game's over. I'm done for the day, man.
If you want to talk some more, we're happy to have you on another segment. I just don't. I know you're trying to get ready and stuff, but you mentioned there may have been a little bit of an early antsiness to pull Lockhart, and that's not how you worded it, but that decision. What about pulling Caden Monk and inserting Connor Nolan? Because Monk looked like he was dealing and pitching pretty well, and then they went with Nolan after I think the 6th or the 5th. What did you think about that decision, rotating the two after Monk wasn't really giving up runs or hits at that point?
Well, Connor had given you 2 really good innings in the second game against Nebraska. So, I mean, I don't question that either. And Monk hadn't gone very long at all since the end of the regular season. I think they were really happy to get 1 2/3 out of him, in which he threw strikes and kept batters off balance. But there was no guarantee that command would return for a third inning. That's the thing about Kostu and occasionally about Monk. They will inherit runners to finish an inning and then come on in the next inning to start and hopefully finish the inning. Bringing them out for a third inning quite often has not worked. It's worked in the case of Monk more than it has in Kostu. In Kostu's case, I don't think it's worked yet this year. And so look, the pulling Lockhart in the third inning. Did it feel unfair for Lyle Lockhart? Yes, a little bit. I think it did, because when you look at the 10 batters that Lockhart faced, there didn't really appear to be anything that showed signs of Lockhart not having good stuff or having bad command or just sort of needing to battle. The hits he gave up in the third inning was an infield single to shortstop and a bunt, which was followed by a sacrifice bunt. I think at that point, Dave is thinking, when I manage this team, and he's managed this team all year long, he has seen Lockhart pitch enough times to think, I might need to go get him there, especially with a lead. Now, if I'm managing, do I let Lockhart go a little farther? Maybe so, but I've never coached a baseball game in college, and and again, it was the right pitcher at the right moment. Maybe if it was a couple innings later, I understand why Lockhart was ticked off, because it looked like he pitched better than those 2 base hits looked like in the third inning. Was it a bit of an early hook? Maybe so, but Dave's had an early hook all year, and it's worked much more often than not.
All right, we're going to take JW in London's call, then we'll take a short break. The voice of Razorback Baseball, Phil Elson, is here with us on Hog Reaction. JW, what question do you have for Phil this afternoon?
Well, Phil and Ty, you both, I feel like today's loss is my fault. I mean, seriously.
What'd you do?
Well, I switched drinks. Yesterday, I had my perfect confidence drink, which is a glass of really cold milk and a couple ounces of Southern Comfort in it, and they just kicked butt. Today, I switched over to lemonade and tequila. I ain't going to do that again. Guess what I'm going to drink tomorrow?
I think you're going to do the, what was the first one you said? It was milk with SoCo?
No, milk with tequila. You can put Kahlua or whatever you like, or any kind of bourbon if you want. That's
said
Southern
milk?
Company.
Milk with tequila
Milk
sounds
with
like
tequila?
automatic throw up. I don't really think you meant
JW.
that.
No. It's real good. It helps the singing voice, and obviously it helps the hitting. 22 to 2 is not bad. I mean, what the heck?
Well, for your sake,
what I like.
JW, I hope the game doesn't go to extra innings tomorrow. Okay.
And I feel bad today because I decided to switch. I
Okay.
wouldn't have switched, would have won this game. What the hell?
Well, JW,
All right, talk to y'all later.
we appreciate you coming clean about drinking tequila and milk and switching up the drinks. Now, Phil, I know you were busy yesterday, but did you happen to see the Morning Rush listeners that the drinking game they were playing yesterday during the Arkansas 21-2 victory? They played
Drink whenever what happens.
a beer every inning, a fireball shot every run, and a Vegas bomb every home run.
Are they alive?
They didn't finish. When I saw them later that night, they were almost to the point of putting themselves in the grave, but they survived. They advanced. So that's,
Wow. I mean, that's like a cast iron liver right there,
Yeah.
man.
That's not what you want to do. All right, we're gonna talk with Phil Elson a little more coming up here on Hog Reaction. 877-377-6963 is the number if you want to hop in here. We're live from Walk-Ons Fort Smith.
This is Hog Reaction, brought to you by Walk-Ons Fort Smith. Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Chris Dooley for a free insurance review. 646-6792.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Hey, Maddie. Hey, what's up, Ty? There's only one place that you get all your alcohol needs for the Omahawks. That's right. My favorite place to go is to my friends at Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith. 9390 Rogers Avenue. Now, you were telling me about the new Ice Dreams. That's right. The Ice Dreams alcoholic poptails. They're awesome, man. We got the summertime coming up, and they've got great flavors like pina colada and strawberry daiquiri. Beer, wine, spirits, and cigars. Everyday low prices at Eastside Liquor. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. At Detail Shine 99, located on Jenny Lind, right across from Ramsey Junior High, they do it all, inside and out. If you're busy, just drop off your vehicle and it will be returned to you with a shine. And if your schedule doesn't allow you to drop off, your vehicle will be picked up, detailed front to back, and brought back to you looking like the day you bought it. Detail Shine 99. Prices from $99 to $149 plus tax. Call today at 339-0099 or check them out online at detailshine99.com.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, SpaceOAR Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of SpaceOAR, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
Law's Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Law's Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for ages 18 and older. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Law's Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call now, 452-6116.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN 95.3. You're listening to Hog Reaction live from Walk-On Sports Smith.
You gotta get out of here!
Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
Go crazy at Bohm Walker! Go nuts!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Ty Richardson.
Back here with the voice of Razorback Baseball, Phil Elson, as we are live from Walk-On's Fort Smith, 4306 Phoenix Avenue. Great game day atmosphere today. There'll be a game 3 tomorrow, 2 o'clock, right here on ESPN Arkansas and hithatline.com. Phil, questions about pitching tomorrow. Jackson Wiggins is the guy that you're assuming is going to get the ball in his hands. Now, he didn't have the best outing the last time he was given this opportunity. What should we expect from the true freshman out of Roland tomorrow?
Wiggins' outing wasn't all too that much different from Lockhart today. He faced one fewer batter. The difference is that he walked a couple of the batters and gave up a bunch of line drives, so it made sense when Dave Van Horn pulled him at the end of facing 9 batters and then went to Kevin Kopps. So, keep in mind here, there were 2 relievers that were used that I wonder if they can come back and pitch. I don't think you'll see Ryan Costu. Part of that was also he just didn't really have great command today. Caden Monk, and this might be one reason why they pulled him after throwing just 1 2/3 innings, 28 pitches. He should be able to come back and pitch tomorrow. The question for Caden is back-to-back days haven't really been his friend this year, so we'll see about that. Kopps threw 21 pitches, so he's ready to go. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get Kevin the ball in the 4th inning if they have the lead and see what happens. Keep in mind, he threw 7 innings on Monday and then didn't have to throw very much today. So it's not like today was a rest day, but essentially it was just like almost playing soft toss for Kopps the way he's pitched this year. So I'm sure Dave might have announced who the starter is going to be by now. I'd be really surprised if it's not Jackson Wiggins, but I think the whole plan is to get the ball to Kevin Kopps with the lead in the 4th or the 5th.
Mace, I was looking at the game time from today. Update our listeners on when the correct game time is actually tomorrow.
Game starts at 5 p.m. tomorrow, just like it did on Friday night. Not 2. You said 2, but that's okay.
Yeah, a little lost. I'm a little flustered after the loss. Phil, it's something you brought up in the last segment that we were talking about. I know I don't feel the same sense of worriedness that I did, and not me personally, but from our listeners, from our texters, from our social media interactors, as I did after they lost to Nebraska game 2, because, I mean, you brought it up, 2015 Missouri State, 2018 South Carolina, 2019 Ole Miss, where you won game 1, you lost game 2, and you figured it out in game 3. What's the key for this team to bounce back tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock?
You got to put together some good at-bats early in the game, and I think it's important to make, and I'm assuming that NC State is starting Matt Willardson tomorrow. He's a right-hand freshman who has numbers that batters will be interested in. ERA near 5, 254 batting average allowed. He's given up, let's see, that's 33 extra base hits, including 12 home runs, and I think he's, just judging by his numbers, because I've never seen him pitch before, I think he's hittable. And if you get the lead early, that leaves some options for when you're going to bring Kevin Kopps in. So, I never say that this team needs to score early to win. Mm-hmm. I think tomorrow, at least to just settle things in a little bit and maybe just make us all feel better, us here in the booth and fans, is to grab that lead early so that you're not playing from behind. The fact is, Kevin Kopps is going to pitch. It's just a matter of what is the score when he comes in and when is it that he's going to come in. So I would like to see better at-bats put together. I don't think this game today was full of really good at-bats. Arkansas had great at-bats on Friday. Today, came out of their zone a little bit, and I think they helped Sam Highfill out on occasion, although that's not to put away the fact that Highfill pitched very, very well. I mean, if you set down 16 consecutive batters in this lineup, you've done something that's tough to do.
Let's go to Jason in Frankfort, Kentucky. Jason, you're on Hog Reaction with the voice of Razorback Baseball. What's your question after the loss, man?
Well, my question is, Slavin's last at-bats, he really struggles against left-handers. I was a little surprised that Van Horn did not stub in maybe Zach Gregory or even Jacob Nesbitt to get a righty on lefty in that matchup. Any reaction on that? I mean, again, I'm not the coach like you. I just was a little surprised to see him allow Slavins to continue to struggle against left-handed pitching.
You're not going to pinch hit Jacob Nesbitt for anybody right now. Jacob's really been struggling. And look, Slavins had homered the inning before. He had a couple of good at-bats. I just don't see them pinch hitting for Slavins ever, because especially in a one-run game with his kind of power, if he runs into one like he had the inning before, you tie the game. So I don't question that at all.
Still going here, kicking on Hog Reaction, brought to you also by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley. Phil, I got one more question before we let you go. We were talking about the key, just the better at-bats, the pitching. Hopefully you see a longer outing from Jackson Wiggins. Now, he hasn't, Mace, you have the stat. He hasn't gone past, 4 innings all season?
I think it's 4 1/3 might be his longest start. I can confirm that for you in just a moment.
Okay. So when you look at this game tomorrow, the atmosphere is going to be there. We know the type that the Baum-Walker Stadium is going to have. There's going to be people that are still lining up, that started lining back up following the conclusion of this game tonight.
They're out there right now. Yeah, they're out there now.
So is there any tinkering? I know that Charlie Welch has been playing DH. I know that he subbed in Christian tonight for a couple at-bats, didn't find any value there. Is there any tinkering that you anticipate Dave Van Horn doing before tomorrow's game, Phil?
Well, I'd be surprised if Christian Franklin doesn't start in center field and get back into his usual spot of the batting order. Will he be able to hit, though? I mean, he struck out both of his at-bats today and still just does not look like the same player that we know he is as far as batting's concerned. I wouldn't be surprised to see Zach Gregory get a chance and start in left field. If you start Franklin in center, then the rest of the fielding kind of goes into place, what we've seen throughout the season. Then you get Matt Goodhart as the DH. Then you put Caden Wallace in right field, maybe Gregory in left field. And then the other question here is, can you remove Charlie Welch from the starting lineup after he's hit home runs back-to-back games as the starting DH? He is such a weapon as a pinch hitter, and that's something that NC State doesn't have. But can you remove him from the starting lineup after he's homered in back-to-back games? And not just the home run today, but also a walk and a run scored. So I think there could be some tinkering. My main question here is, do you keep Welch in the starting lineup, or is Dave going to try to utilize him as a pinch hitter for one of those late trump cards?
That's a good question to ask. The voice of Razorback Baseball, Phil Ellison, kind enough to give us some of his time. Phil, get some sleep tonight, man. Get some good food, and we'll hear you tomorrow on the call starting at 4:30 on the IMG pregame.
All right, Ty, we're all nervous. I'm nervous too. And just the fact of the matter is, did you really expect this Super Regional to go any other way than making it a best out of 3? Come on. If you paid attention to this team this year, this is how it was going to go.
No, that's how it did. All right, buddy. See you later.
All right, later on.
All right, good stuff as always from our guy, Phil Ellison. You can always hear him on the Arkansas baseball game coverage with Bubba Carpenter right here on ESPN Arkansas, as well as hitthatline.com. And don't miss every single halftime program every weekday from 11 to 1. We're going to come back. We're going to take a short little break. When we come back, we'll continue to take your calls, your texts, talking about a little bit about Christian Franklin, kind of this team, the pitching rotation. What is your confidence level heading in to tomorrow night when they take on North Carolina State for a do-or-die Game 3? We'll answer that next on Hog Reaction.
This is Hog Reaction, brought to you by Walk-Ons Fort Smith. Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Chris Dooley for a free insurance review. 646-6792.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Maddie. Hey, what's up, Ty? There's only one place that you get all your alcohol needs for the Omahawks. That's right. My favorite place to go is to my friends at Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith. 9390 Rogers Avenue. Now, you were telling me about the new Ice Dreams. That's right. The Ice Dreams alcoholic poptails. They're awesome, man. We got the summertime coming up, and they've got great flavors like pina colada and strawberry daiquiri. Beer, wine, spirits, and cigars. Everyday low prices at Eastside Liquor. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunities, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Laws Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Laws Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for ages 18 and older. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Laws Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Laws Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call now, 452-6116.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Shangri-La Resort. They're going on their 65th year, giving you some of the memories you treasure to this day. Take it from me, I grew up going there. The Carrs are going on their 3rd generation of taking care of you. Mama Carr makes the best pie in all of Arkansas, and they wake up at 3 in the morning just to start making them. Check them out online at ShangriLaResort.net and check out their Facebook and Instagram pages for some of the best scenery in the natural state. Shangri-La Resort, a touch of paradise and a boatload of fun.
Evans Body Shop is ready to work for you. Bring us your cars, your trucks, your SUVs, and we will get them back to like-new condition just in time for all of the good times that come with spring and summer. No time to come by for an estimate? Visit our website and utilize our mobile estimating tool. We will keep you updated and informed throughout the repair process, and you can pick up your freshly repaired and detailed vehicle with the peace of mind that our lifetime paint warranty provides. Come by and see us today at 412 Gordon Avenue, Van Buren.
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
You're listening to Hog Reaction live from Walk-On Sportsmith.
You gotta get out of here!
Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
Go crazy at Baum Walker! Go nuts!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Ty Richardson.
Got about 30 more minutes left of Hog Reaction, so if you have something that really stands out to you about the game this afternoon or something that you've been wanting to get off your chest about what you think about tomorrow's matchup in a Game 3 of the Super Regional against the North Carolina State Wolfpack, feel free at 877-377-6963. Now, I feel the confidence level, if you look at the two between heading into that final game against Nebraska in the regional last week and then the Super Regional tonight, I think Phil is kind of taken down to nervousness, and he said he was nervous a little bit, but it's not like where he's not going to be able to sleep tonight. I think there's a quiet confidence, not just quiet, but I mean when you've lost Mesa, one of the things you were discussing during the break, this team has yet to lose a series all year. Now you can look at that one of two ways. One, their clock is at some point going to strike midnight, or two, it's a team of destiny and they're just going to keep on fighting, persevering, and pursuing no matter what ends up happening or what looks like could happen.
Yeah, you're talking about that nervousness, and I think that really kind of that just comes from the fact that this is the Super Regional in Omaha. A trip to Omaha is on the line. So, of course, you're going to be a little bit more nervous, and there's going to, of course, this is the biggest series of all those series that you've won so far this year. None of those matter at this point. This is the only series that matters. And so that's why you're nervous about it. And you got Jackson Wiggins, a guy who hasn't pitched. Phil said 4 1/3, I think, earlier. But I'm looking right now. I think the longest outing he has all year is 3 2/3 against Tennessee on May 30th. That was in the SEC tournament. So, that's got to worry you a little bit. But as I was telling you in the break, it's like whenever Wiggins is done, you're probably turning to Kevin Kopps. Is that a fair statement?
Whenever Wiggins is done, you're probably turning to Kevin Kopps. Yeah, Kevin goes not even 3 innings tonight, so he only goes 2 innings, the 7th and the 8th, right? Because he didn't get to the 9th because they had lost to that point. So, or did I switch that? No, that's right.
He didn't have to pitch in the 9th.
Yeah, that's why I say because they had lost to that point. So, yeah, that's right. He only pitched 2 innings tonight. I need to probably pull up the stats. That would probably be the wise thing to do instead of just kind of tree-topping it off my head. But, yeah, that I would suspect that that's something you're probably going to see, especially if you have a lead with Wiggins exiting the game. And, if you could get 4 innings, man, if you could get 5 innings from Jackson Wiggins, that'd be great. We know the kid's got talent, and we've seen it at times, but didn't have the best outing against Nebraska last week in this regional. Didn't have the best outing against Tennessee. We know what happened in game number 2. He's been put in situations before, and listen, true freshman, I get it. This guy is going to be immensely talented in his years at Arkansas, but true freshmen just simply are not necessarily ready sometimes for the type of pressure-packed situations that postseason baseball presents itself. Now, that's not the case for every single one of them, but there's a reason that more often than not you see postseason play success individually performed by a sophomore, by a junior, by even the guy that stuck around that maybe should have gone to the MLB draft because that's just they're kind of used to it at that point. So if Jackson's able to give you 3 or 4 or 5 innings, then that's awesome, and that's something that Dave Van Horn and Matt Hobbs and that coaching staff can game plan and win a game off of. But if he doesn't, like then they'll find a way to somehow, some way get it done too. That's what's unique about this baseball team is there's no set formula for how you have to win. It's pretty set on game 1. Wick gives you 5 or 6. Cops gives you the rest. The game's over. That's been pretty much the staple of this baseball team as of late. These other games, though, it's kind of been patched up here and there. I say patched up. They've obviously Dave doesn't just go into the game without a game plan or anything, but they've had to kind of move around a little bit, kind of revolve to their surroundings, if you will, and kind of adjust accordingly. And they've been able to do that, which is fine. It doesn't matter how you slice it, Mace, as long as the slicing results in a W, and that's what's happened to this point.
Yeah, and realistically, the leash for Jackson Wiggins tomorrow is probably going to be shorter than the leash was on Lyle Lockhart today. Just because, today it was like, well, you still have another game tomorrow just in case, but this is for all the marbles tomorrow. So Arkansas is going to have to do whatever they have to do to win that game. And realistically, if you want to win a baseball game, Kevin Kopps is the guy who needs to be on the mound. I would love to see Jackson Wiggins do well and go 4 innings, maybe 5, like you said. But, I mean, if we're thinking realistically, he's probably going to give you 3 innings, 4 max.
And you take that, too, either way. Here's a text in from Tyler in Knoxville, Tennessee. He's talking about Caden Wallace, another true freshman, saying Caden needs to step up. He's 4 for 38 with 14 Ks since the beginning of the tournament. Yeah, Caden hasn't had the best super regional to this point, and that's kind of what I was speaking to earlier. When you get in this situation as a true freshman baseball player, basketball player, football player, it's just not what you're used to. Like, there's high school pressure, and then you move on to collegiate, and for some lucky enough that have the talent and the work ethic, move on to that professional level, it amps up every single time. The competition, the coaching, the head-to-head, that's just how it goes. So sometimes the true freshmen falter, and they're just not ready to. You hope these younger guys kind of take the leadership and the instruction of not only Dave Van Horn, Matt Hobbs, and the rest of the coaching staff, Bobby Mornis, Nate Thompson, but everyone else in that locker room, that whoever's going to set the example, pick a veteran on this team that kind of they'll follow that lead, which I think they'll be able to. It's just a matter if they can get by it. So we're talking this morning here, or excuse me, this afternoon here on Hog Reaction. It's almost basically night. I know it's still very bright outside, but I guess it's technically nighttime being 6:10 here on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I thought Phil brought up a very intriguing question when I asked him, hey, what could happen? What could Dave Van Horn tinker with heading into tomorrow's game? He said, when asked about Charlie Welch, it's like, do you move him back in a pinch hitting role and then just pull him out in a special time? I mean, he's been dangerous back-to-back games with the home run. It's almost like you still want him in that lineup based on the way he's been hitting. I would anticipate you're going to see some lineup change tomorrow. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's Christian Franklin batting center, and then everyone goes back to their kind of normal positions. Charlie's been, I think, too valuable to keep on the bench outside of just one at-bat. Wouldn't you say so, Mace?
I would say so, but also a lot of people posed this question earlier in the year when we saw Charlie Welch come in and just do – I mean, he hit some home runs against some smaller teams, but – you've seen the question of, like, man, or maybe statement, if only Charlie Welch could play left field, because that's the position that you've been rotating guys, specifically Braden Webb and Zach Gregory, trying to figure out which one you prefer. If Charlie Welch could play left field, then I would think that he'd probably be in the lineup every day. But Phil said we might see Zach Gregory tomorrow. Braden Webb has really struggled at the plate in this super regional. And I think it all boils down to, does Dave Van Horn prefer having Matt Goodhart as the DH or Charlie Welch as the DH? And it seems to be that he favors Matt Goodhart at this point, and he has all year. I just don't know at this point, though, because like Phil said and like we know, Charlie Welch has hit a home run in 3 straight games.
It's really the life just blows up inside of Baum-Walker Stadium when he steps to the mound, because he has been so consistent behind the plate. Now, a lot better as a pinch hitter than when he started, but still, even today, as starting, hits a bomb. Mace, do me a favor real quick. Can you look up who won the coin toss for tomorrow? I've gotten several texts, including our buddy Jim Fitzgerald, who works at our ESPN 104.3 station, a couple texters as well. We'll tell you who's going to be home team, who's going to be away team coming up in just a bit. But we're going to take one more commercial break. Again, we got about 15 minutes or so less of Hog Reaction. When we come back, we'll tell you who won the coin flip and just kind of our final overall thoughts on what happened in the 6-5 loss to North Carolina State.
This is Hog Reaction, brought to you by Walk-Ons Fort Smith. Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley.
Congratulations, you're having a little girl.
At that moment, everything changed. Our hopes and dreams for ourselves were instantly replaced by our hopes and dreams for her. We got life insurance policies from Shelter Insurance, so that regardless of what life throws at us, we'll still be able to provide the world to her.
Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Chris Dooley for a free insurance review. 646-6792.
Harry Robinson Buick GMC wants to buy your vehicle, and they'll pay top dollar today. Pre-owned car values are at an all-time high, and your car is worth more today than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Buick GMC, and they will pay you more for your trade. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they will still buy yours. Harry Robinson Buick GMC, exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith. Wheels RV in Springdale wants you to seek out all the Natural State has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels RV was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. 5 miles west of I-49, exit 72. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Laws Drugstore in Fort Smith has COVID vaccinations available today for you and your family. Laws Drugstore has the Pfizer vaccine for ages 12 and up and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for ages 18 and older. Just call 452-6116 to schedule your appointment or stop by Laws Drugstore at 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Laws Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family. Call now, 452-6116.
Standard Materials Group has immediate openings for ready-mix drivers in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you have a CDL license without an automatic restriction and want to be home every night, want to work with a company that offers great pay, benefits, and a great team environment with growth opportunity, apply today at jobs.crh.com. Again, that's jobs.crh.com. Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
For 33 years, Manfield's Automotive Parts City Auto Parts has been trusted as your one-stop for all your vehicle needs. Get a great deal on a Superstart battery and any of the products you need for the do-it-yourself upkeep on your car or truck. When you need work done, Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts does everything from oil changes, brakes, alignments, diagnostic work, air conditioning, and more. Mansfield Automotive Parts City Auto Parts in downtown Mansfield is open 8 to 5:30 Monday through Friday and 8 to 1 on Saturdays.
Did you know about 1 in 9 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer during his lifetime? Unfortunately, all treatment options can have side effects, like erectile dysfunction, urinary leakage, and bowel complications. However, SpaceOAR Hydrogel can help minimize your risk of side effects when used with radiation therapy. To learn more about the risks and benefits of SpaceOAR, visit spaceoar.com. That's spaceoar.com. Spaceoar.com. Sponsored by Boston Scientific.
Hey, Maddie. Hey, what's up, Ty? There's only one place that you get all your alcohol needs for the Omahawks. That's right. My favorite place to go is to my friends at Eastside Liquor in Fort Smith. 9390 Rogers Avenue. Now, you were telling me about the new Ice Dreams. That's right. The Ice Dreams alcoholic poptails. They're awesome, man. We got the summertime coming up, and they've got great flavors like pina colada and strawberry daiquiri.
Beer, wine, spirits, and cigars. Everyday low prices at Eastside Liquor. 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Shangri-La Resort. They're going on their 65th year, giving you some of the memories you treasure to this day. Take it from me, I grew up going there. The Carrs are going on their 3rd generation of taking care of you. Mama Carr makes the best pie in all of Arkansas, and they wake up at 3 in the morning just to start making them. Check them out online at ShangriLaResort.net and check out their Facebook and Instagram pages for some of the best scenery in the natural state. Shangri-La Resort, a touch of paradise and a boatload of fun.
At Detail Shine 99, located on Jenny Lind, right across from Ramsey Junior High, they do it all, inside and out. If you're busy, just drop off your vehicle and it will be returned to you with a shine. And if your schedule doesn't allow you to drop off, your vehicle will be picked up, detailed front to back, and brought back to you looking like the day you bought it. Detail Shine 99. Prices from $99 to $149 plus tax. Call today at 339-0099 or check them out online at detailshine99.com.
You're listening to Hog Reaction live from Walk-On Sportsmith.
You gotta get out of here!
Hog Reaction is also brought to you by Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley.
Go crazy at Baum Walker! Go nuts!
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Ty Richardson.
One last segment of Hog Reaction before we close down shop here. We're going to be doing both Arkansas Game Day and Hog Reaction tomorrow live here at Walk-On Sportsmith. Hopefully a happy Ty will be on Hog Reaction tomorrow. Game number 3, 5 o'clock right here, ESPN Arkansas. HitThatLine.com. And Mace, it's on ESPNU, correct, or is it on ESPN2?
Either or.
Either or.
I think it really just depends on, because we've seen like the past few days that it's supposed to start on ESPN2, but then it starts on ESPN News. But on the Razorback website, it says ESPN2 or ESPNU.
Either or. Okay. I guess that Derek guy left his porta potty because he was staying in there for quite some time because they kept scoring runs yesterday, and I guess he was in there at some point today, but maybe he left it. Maybe that's why they lost, because Derek didn't stay inside the porta potty long enough. But I
saw that he went to it after the Hogs went down 6-2, I believe. I saw that he went back to the porta potty. He was like, "Someone bring me some Coors Light" or something like that.
So what do you do with Christian Franklin tomorrow? We're talking about kind of what you do with Charlie Welch. Christian Franklin has not hit the ball well this postseason, and I like his defense. Dave's mentioned it several times on end that his defense saved him a couple runs, a couple big momentum-changing plays against New Jersey Institute of Technology, but just has not been productive at all behind the plate. I mean, he's not 100%. You can see that both just from watching him and then him speaking out, not him personally speaking out, but the team and stuff. I mean, are you willing to put him back in the starting lineup tomorrow night? I know he's defensively he's solid, but from a hitting standpoint, he just hasn't been productive in that area.
You're right. I mean, he's up to 11 strikeouts since the regional started last week, and he had 9 in the regional, and then his 2 at-bats today, he had 2 strikeouts. So, but I think of it this way. You remember last year when Casey Martin was just struggling a lot, and there were so many people who were saying, we need Casey Martin out of this lineup. He doesn't even need to be starting because he couldn't hit the ball. Mm-hmm. But realistically, Casey Martin is a very talented baseball player. If the season didn't get canceled and he was able to get out of that slump, I think he's a first-round draft pick last year. And it's the same case with Christian Franklin. Christian Franklin, you've heard a lot of people say that he's as close as a 5-tool player as you get. He's really good at the plate, and we've seen it in the past. He's just in a slump. That's just how baseball works. And he can't get out of that slump if he's not in the game getting at bats. So I think that he's too valuable to just say, oh, well, he's struggling at the plate, let's not play him.
If you're an Arkansas fan looking at tomorrow's game and you're looking at Lyle Lockhart getting yanked early, are you just assuming that you're going to have to kind of work with what you got. Jackson Wiggins gives you a couple innings, and they'll have to piece together the rest of the rotation, because that's kind of how I feel that tomorrow's going to go. Listen, maybe Jackson surprises us tomorrow. Maybe he comes in and just is throwing darts for 4 solid innings. But I, based on what I've seen in big-time pivotal games, I would expect that he gets an early hook like Dave kind of did with Lyle Lockhart today, and whether you think that was deserved or not, that's what happened, and Arkansas wasn't really able to figure it out after that. And they figured it out multiple other times this season. Is that what you're anticipating tomorrow? If we're going to kind of pin down how this game is going to go tomorrow, Mace, I think that Jackson Wiggins is going to get pulled after the first couple innings, and they're just going to have to figure it out from a bullpen standpoint. Or maybe, like you said, is he yanked early enough where you can't even go to Cops? I also think it depends on a lead at that point as well.
I don't know. You kind of wish that you could have a freshman, kind of like NC State had today in Sam Highfill, go out there and throw, 6 or 7 innings? How awesome would that be for Arkansas? But it doesn't seem like that stuff ever happens to the Razorbacks. So I don't know. I think that Arkansas has enough. Dave Van Horn said that he pulled Heston Toll out on Friday and threw Ramage in there because they might need Toll the rest of this series.
Mm-hmm.
And so Heston Toll could still go. He looked really good on Friday night.
Yeah.
Zebulon Vermillion was ready to go Friday. He didn't pitch. So I think that you have some guys that you can throw in there before you get to Cops that can carry you over to Cops, because we saw against Nebraska on Monday that Cops could go 7 and just completely dominate. So I really don't think that there's too early for Kevin Cops to come in, to be honest with you, Ty.
And based on what he's been able to do this season, I think that a lot of Arkansas fans will be clamoring for him to come in as early as possible. Now, this was a text from Scott earlier, and we told you we'd tell you this. So the Arkansas should be the home team tomorrow. That's what it's looking like. So they'll have that as they should. I've never understand why you switch back and forth when someone has earned the right to host a regional, host a super regional, but that's a better question for the baseball diehards that we have listening to the Morning Rush. And let's not forget that North Carolina State, listen, big part of their game today was just not letting the Baum-Walker Stadium crowd get into it for the majority of the game. And then you have Dalen Battles, Opitz, and a couple others start to tinker around a little bit behind the plate and get things going. Charlie Welch, we know what he was able to do. But that's kind of, they were able to subdue, and I'm speaking to Nebraska. Nebraska was able to subdue you as a fan for a good amount of time in that regional final game. But in the 7th inning, when all this stuff started happening, the walks and just the consistency and how just the crowd, the atmosphere, it took over that game. And who's to say that couldn't happen tomorrow? Who's to say that North Carolina State couldn't build an early lead, and then slowly but surely Arkansas just keeps clawing, scratching, and getting away at it. And then next thing you know, it's a tie ball game, and the crowd is just in whoever is on the mound at that point for North Carolina State. And they're in their head, and they have real estate in their head, because that's what you saw with the Nebraska pitchers. The people, I love when opponents and coaches say that visiting places don't matter, visiting venues don't matter. They always matter. Now, some matter more than others. We know going to a game inside a Baum-Walker Stadium is a lot different than going to a baseball game at, say, USC, or pick a school that's kind of obscure out west, out north, a South non-SEC school that doesn't have the same type of fan interaction and fan enrollment that you see every single year. So let's not forget about that part of this game tomorrow, because it was there for Ole Miss 2 years ago, South Carolina 3 years ago. Back when you played Missouri State in 2015, I was there for that one, and my goodness, that was a fun game. Ace, I know that you'll have a lot of friends, you'll have a lot of people that you know will be attending. I got a lot of people I know that are going to be there for that game, and they're going to make sure that they're not going to be the issue if Arkansas walks away with the loss tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of wish that I could be there, but I'm going to be here to help you guys out tomorrow. But, yeah, the atmosphere at Baum-Walker is just – it's definitely like a 12th man. Like, you know, I don't want to mention a college team that says 12th man, so we'll go with the Seattle Seahawks in the NFL. They have a 12th man. But I think that Arkansas baseball has a 12th man in the crowd. And, oh, dude, we wanted Charlie Welch to go up there and hit a home run and just make everybody go crazy there in the top of the ninth. But unfortunately, it couldn't happen. And from what I'm hearing, we weren't able to listen to the post-game press conference. But basically what Dave Van Horn said was they're going to mix it up with the pitchers and try to get to Cops. That was what he said.
Oh. We'll see. Let's see what actually plays out tomorrow. Again, game is at 5 o'clock. We're talking about fan attendance. Mississippi State had over 14,000 people inside of Dudy Noble Stadium, and I don't like Ole Miss, their baseball program, but you have to give credit where credit's due. Now, you did sweep the Bulldogs earlier this year, but listen, over 14,000 people at a super regional game. That's quite impressive. So props to the Mississippi State Bulldogs for having that type of enrollment. And there's going to be a ton of fun fans from Arkansas tomorrow that are either surrounding the stadium, inside the stadium. That atmosphere, you're going to want to be a part of it, not just here if you're at the game in Fayetteville, but also listening to the broadcast with Phil Elson and Bubba Carpenter right here at ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Arkansas needs to walk tomorrow. They need to be smart. Phil was talking about plate appearances earlier, and they have to have better at-bats. This is the number one team in the country at drawing walks. Number one, I don't know if they're still number one in home runs. That goes back and forth. I think they might have retaken that claim. I got to go back and see. But if you're the number one team in walks and home runs, or at least top 3, top 2 in home runs, that shows that you are multi-dimensional. That shows that you have the ability to not only take good pitches, but lay off of bad pitches, which is what this baseball team has done all season long. You're going to put the ball in the hands of the best player in college baseball tomorrow night. That is Mr. Kevin Kopps. If it's in his hands tomorrow night in a closeout Game 3 situation, I expect Arkansas to figure it out. I expect when that dugout sees Kevin Kopps at some point coming in the game, they know that they're going to win. That's how it's been all season long. They know that they're going to win when the best player in college baseball steps up and does what he does. It's been a great Hog Reaction show live at Walk-Ons Fort Smith, 4306 Phoenix Avenue. Stop by and see Lauren. Stop by and see Aubrey. Stop by and see Ryan. Stop by and see Kip and all the great employees here at Walk-Ons Fort Smith. For Mason Choate, I'm Ty Richardson. Also appreciate Harry Robinson Buick GMC and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley. We will talk to y'all tomorrow.
ESPN Radio. Our podcasts are on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud,